Most people live their whole lives holding back. They start things and stop halfway. They wait for the right time. They try, but they don't fully commit. Deep down, they want more, but they don't give more. That's why their life doesn't change. If you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of doing the same things and getting nowhere, then this is for you. This isn't another feel-good message. This is about showing up differently. Starting today, this is about giving your effort, your focus, your time, everything you've got, to building a life you're proud of. You already know what it feels like to give half your energy to something. It drains you. It makes you doubt yourself. But when you give your full effort, you feel stronger. You feel alive. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being all in. In this video, you're going to learn how to stop wasting your days, how to stop overthinking, and how to finally take control of your future. You're going to learn how to build habits that stick, how to push through when things get tough, and how to live with clarity and purpose. If you've ever felt like you were made for more, but didn't know where to start, you're in the right place. If you're ready to take ownership of your life, not just talk about it, this will guide you. Not with hype, with real practical steps you can use. So stay with me, because once you decide to give it your all, everything begins to change. Chapter 1. Commit fully and consistently to your highest goals. When you make a decision to pursue something truly meaningful, you must understand this. Life does not reward the person who occasionally shows up. It rewards the person who never stops showing up. If you're serious about building a better life, you cannot treat your highest goals like hobbies. You have to treat them like your mission. A mission is not something you pick up when you feel good and put down when it gets hard. A mission is something you live for. You commit to it. You protect it. You work for it every single day, with everything you have. Committing fully means you no longer leave space for excuses. You stop allowing weak thinking to take over your mind. You don't rely on feelings anymore. You rely on your decision to stay locked in. Feelings will fluctuate. Discipline will not. The world doesn't care about how inspired you feel. The world responds to what you actually do. That's what shapes your reality. Your consistent action toward a clear outcome. To give it your all, you must become someone who means what they say. You say you're going to do something, and you do it. You make a promise to yourself, and you keep it. You no longer negotiate with yourself every morning. You no longer allow temporary moods to dictate your permanent direction. Most people waste years bouncing between goals, chasing new ideas, and starting over every time things get uncomfortable. If you want to build something meaningful, whether it's a stronger body, a sharper mind, a stable business, or an unshakable life, you need to stay with it. You need to stay loyal to your goals, even when the process is not exciting. There is no shortcut to real progress. The more you chase shortcuts, the longer the journey takes. The person you want to become is built brick by brick through daily commitment. You will not wake up one morning transformed. You will earn it in silence, through repetition, by doing the work even when it's invisible, even when nobody applauds, even when it's just you in a quiet room choosing to show up. You cannot be half-hearted and expect full results. If your energy is scattered, your results will be too. You don't rise by doing many things inconsistently. You rise by doing the right things consistently. That's what separates those who grow from those who stay the same. It's not about talent or luck. It's about effort, focus, and refusing to break the commitment you made to yourself when you were clear and hungry for change. Too many people start strong and fade. They lose focus when the initial excitement disappears. But the truth is, the beginning is supposed to be exciting. It's easy to show up when everything is new. The real test is showing up when nothing is exciting, when the progress is slow, when you feel tired, and when your mind starts looking for ways out. That's when you prove to yourself that this is more than a moment, it's your new way of life. Your highest goals require the best version of you, and the best version of you won't show up unless you demand it every day. That means waking up with purpose. That means cutting out what doesn't align with your vision. That means doing the work when you're not in the mood. You won't always feel ready. You won't always feel energized. But none of that matters if you've made the decision to commit completely. This commitment is not a contract you sign once and forget. It's a decision you renew every morning, and sometimes multiple times a day. You'll have moments of doubt. You'll feel pressure. You'll feel pulled toward comfort. But that's part of the process. Those moments are not signs that you should stop. They're signs that you're moving in the right direction. Growth always comes with resistance. But if you can push through it, you'll see what most people never get to experience: real transformation. You must also understand this: nobody is going to hand you the life you want. That's your job. It's your responsibility. Blaming your circumstances won't move you forward. Waiting for the perfect time won't make it easier. Hoping someone comes to push you won't help you grow. This is about you stepping into your own power. This is about you taking full ownership of your life. When you commit fully, you stop playing both sides. You stop saying you want change while holding on to the habits that keep you stuck. You stop talking about goals without taking action. You stop chasing short-term pleasure at the cost of long-term progress. You live with clarity. You move with purpose. You build your life from the ground up, with intention. Nothing changes if you don't take yourself seriously. You have to respect your time. You have to respect your energy. You have to respect your own word. If you say you're going to do something, then you do it, not for anyone else but for yourself, because your mind is always listening. Every time you break your word, you weaken your self-respect. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your trust in yourself. And that trust becomes the foundation for your growth. Stop chasing motivation. Motivation is a mood. Commitment is a lifestyle. And when you live in commitment, your days become meaningful, even when they're hard. You stop wasting time. You stop living passively. You start creating momentum. And with enough momentum, you become unstoppable. You'll begin to notice something else too. As you stay consistent, your goals begin to shape you. You become more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. You begin to see that who you're becoming is even more important than what you're achieving. And that's the point. The real reward is not just the result, it's the strength, clarity, and confidence you build in the process. Life will challenge your commitment. You'll face days where you question everything. You'll have setbacks. You'll experience failure. But none of those things have the power to stop you unless you give up. If you keep showing up, especially when it's hard, you'll separate yourself from the majority. Most people quit early. Most people shrink when it's tough. You won't. You've decided to give it your all. Every day is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. Your habits, your attitude, your choices, these are not small things. They're the bricks of your future. And every time you follow through on what matters, you're building something real, something strong, something lasting. It's easy to compare yourself to others and feel behind. But comparison is a distraction. It pulls your focus away from what you need to be doing. Everyone's path is different. You're not here to keep up with anyone else. You're here to become the version of yourself that fulfills your potential. And that will only happen if you stay locked in on your mission, no matter what anyone else is doing. If your goal doesn't demand your full attention, it's not your highest goal. A real goal should stretch you. It should require you to grow. It should challenge your limits. If it's comfortable, it's not changing you. If it's safe, it's not pushing you forward. Stop settling for low-effort goals. Stop chasing comfort. Step into something that requires your full energy, something that forces you to rise. Giving it your all doesn't mean you never rest. It doesn't mean you burn out. It means you work with urgency. You rest with purpose. You recover, reflect, and return with more focus. You don't drift aimlessly. You live deliberately. The path won't always be clear, but the commitment must be. Even if you don't have all the answers yet, move forward. Take action. Learn along the way. You don't need perfect clarity to start. You just need to start and refuse to stop. Clarity comes through movement. Strength comes through effort. Confidence comes through consistency. And when people around you start to notice, when they ask how you changed, when they see you growing, you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't a secret. It was daily commitment. Quiet, focused, relentless commitment. You'll look back one day and realize that the person you are now was born from the days when nobody clapped, when it was just you and your will to keep going. That's the real transformation. That's what matters. Not the applause, not the quick wins, but the daily effort, the progress nobody sees, the decision you made to stay the course. You don't need another plan. You need deeper commitment. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You need to start. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. If you're going to do something, do it with all you've got. If you're going to build something, build it with your whole heart. If you want to change your life, show up like your future depends on it, because it does. This is your time to stop waiting. This is your time to stop holding back. This is your time to take full control of your energy, your focus, and your direction. Commit fully. Stay consistent. Give it your all, and never look back. Chapter 2. Confront your fears and act despite feeling uncertain. Fear is the invisible wall that stands between where you are and where you truly want to be. It shows up when you're about to do something that matters. It appears when you're about to speak up, take a risk, or step outside what feels safe. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It hides behind hesitation, overthinking, doubt, and delay. And if you're not careful, it can quietly lead your life without you realizing it. But here's the truth. You cannot grow if you allow fear to make your decisions. You cannot lead your life if fear is leading your mind. The more you run from what scares you, the more control it gains over you. Every person who has ever changed their life has done so by moving through fear, not waiting for it to disappear. Fear doesn't vanish with time. It weakens with movement. The only way to truly overcome it is to confront it head-on, feel it fully, and take action anyway. That's where your power is, not in being fearless, but in being courageous. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you from doing what must be done. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait to feel calm, sure, and confident before they take the next step. But the people who make real progress in life understand that waiting is a trap. If you wait for fear to leave, you'll never move. You can waste years waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. You can talk yourself out of everything important if you let fear drive the conversation. But once you act, once you take one real step forward, you weaken fear's grip on your life. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. And that changes everything. Fear can be emotional, physical, or psychological. It might come from past failures, rejection, trauma, or conditioning. But its source is not what matters most. What matters is how you respond to it. Do you back down every time discomfort shows up? Do you avoid the conversations that could change your life? Do you shrink when you should stand tall? Or do you lean in even when your heart races, even when your hands shake? It's not about taking huge leaps all at once. Sometimes the boldest move is a small one, making the phone call you've been avoiding, sending the message you keep writing and deleting, stepping onto the stage even if your voice trembles, showing up despite the anxiety in your chest. It's these decisions made over and over again that build the inner strength most people are searching for. You can't avoid fear and expect to grow. Growth happens when you go through something that stretches you, something that tests your nerve. Every challenge you run from stays alive in your mind. Every challenge you face begins to dissolve. That's the nature of courage. It doesn't look dramatic. It's often quiet, personal, and uncomfortable, but it's also deeply freeing. One of the biggest lies fear tells you is that you're not ready, that you need more time, more skill, more approval. But life isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be willing to feel the discomfort, willing to act with uncertainty, willing to move even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. That's where true power lives, in doing the thing while still feeling unsure. Some people think confidence comes first, and then action follows. But it's the other way around. Confidence is built by doing things that scare you. Every time you take action in the presence of fear, you send a message to your nervous system. I can handle this. And over time, your mind starts to trust you. You begin to carry yourself differently. You no longer see fear as a stop sign. You see it as a sign you're on the edge of something important. Think back to a time you were afraid to do something, and then you did it. Maybe it was speaking in front of a group, leaving a job, ending a relationship, starting a new chapter. Remember how it felt. Not the fear before, but the pride after. That's what fear is hiding from you. On the other side of that fear is strength. There's pride, there's growth, but you can't reach it unless you go through it. You might be thinking, but what if I fail? That's a real question. And the truth is, you might. But failure is not the enemy. Avoiding action out of fear of failure is the enemy. Because failure teaches you. It builds resilience. It sharpens your thinking. It makes you better. You don't learn by always succeeding. You learn by doing, adjusting, and doing again. Living cautiously does not mean you're safe. It means you're stuck. It means your fears are running your life. And slowly that turns into regret. Regret for not trying. Regret for holding back. Regret for being quiet when you wanted to speak. And regret is heavier than fear, because at least with fear there's still a choice to act. With regret the moment is gone. No one becomes great by staying in the comfort zone. The comfort zone feels safe, but it's the most dangerous place to stay. Nothing grows there. Nothing improves there. If you keep choosing comfort, you'll keep living the same version of life, over and over. And deep down, you know that's not enough. You were made for more, but you have to earn it. And you earn it by facing what scares you. Acting in uncertainty requires mental toughness. You need to develop the ability to sit with fear and not run from it. To sit with doubt and still move forward. To trust yourself, even when you don't have all the answers. That's not easy. It requires you to build a relationship with discomfort. You stop treating fear like an enemy and start treating it like a teacher. You don't have to face every fear at once. Start with the small ones. Do something every day that makes you uncomfortable. Have the hard conversation. Ask for what you need. Say no when it's easier to say yes. Set boundaries. Speak honestly. Try the thing you've never done. Little by little, you'll build the kind of confidence that doesn't need to fake strength. It's real because it's earned. Eventually something shifts. You stop fearing fear itself. You welcome it. You use it as a compass. You begin to understand that fear often shows up right before growth. It's not a sign to back off. It's a signal to step forward. When you understand that, fear no longer controls you. It becomes part of the process. It loses its power over your decisions, and as you continue to act despite fear, your world expands. Things that once seemed impossible start to feel achievable. You begin to operate from a new level of self-respect. You begin to trust that you can handle life, no matter what it throws at you. And that belief is unshakable. It doesn't come from reading books or hearing speeches. It comes from action, from doing the things most people avoid, from proving to yourself that you can face what once made you freeze. You must stop negotiating with fear. Stop trying to reason with it. Fear does not play fair. It doesn't care about your logic. It will always find a way to plant doubt if you listen long enough. So don't listen. Act. Don't pause for too long. Move. Don't ask fear for permission. It's never going to say yes. Your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of action. Not thought. Not planning. Not preparation. Action. Your fear doesn't shrink because you talk about it. It shrinks because you face it. Again and again. With courage. With clarity. With the understanding that you are no longer living your life on fear's terms. You owe it to yourself to stop letting fear lead your decisions. You owe it to yourself to take the risk, to raise your hand, to show up, to speak, to try, because this is your life. And it's going fast. The longer you wait, the more you lose. Not just opportunities, but belief in yourself. Start with what scares you today. Not next week. Not when things are better. Today choose one thing that makes you uncomfortable, and face it. Not to impress anyone. Not to check a box, but to take back your power. Because every time you do that, you become a stronger version of yourself. And that version is the one capable of building the life you've been dreaming about. You don't have to live a life ruled by fear. You don't have to keep playing small. You don't have to keep waiting for everything to feel right. You can start now. You can move forward now. You can act with fear in your chest and strength in your steps. You are not the fear. You are the person observing it. And you get to decide what happens next. So decide. Move forward. Act boldly, even when it's scary. Especially when it's scary. That's where your growth lives. That's where your freedom begins. That's how you change your life. One courageous decision at a time. Chapter 3. Cultivate powerful discipline in all daily actions. Discipline is the foundation that holds your life together when motivation fades and circumstances shift. It is not something you're born with. It's something you earn through effort, repetition, and intention. If you want to build a life that reflects your values, your goals, and your full potential, discipline must become a part of who you are, not just something you try from time to time, but a consistent way of living. Without discipline, your vision remains a wish. With it, you create momentum, build confidence, and turn ideas into results. You don't need perfect conditions to be disciplined. You need a clear decision that how you live each day matters. Discipline is how you respond to your alarm when it's still dark outside and you don't want to get up. It's how you choose to focus when your phone is full of distractions. It's what you say to yourself when the temptation to take the easy way out shows up. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it is powerful, because every disciplined act adds strength to your identity. Every time you do the right thing, even when it's hard, you change who you are at the core. Most people treat discipline like a switch they turn on when things are urgent. They wait for deadlines. They wait for pressure. They wait until things fall apart. But true discipline doesn't depend on urgency. It's built into your routine. It becomes your standard. You don't have to think about whether you'll do what needs to be done. You just do it. It becomes part of how you live. You must stop treating discipline like a punishment. It is a form of self-respect. It is the act of aligning your behavior with your highest values. When you live without discipline, you slowly fall into habits that pull you away from who you want to become. When you live with discipline, you shape your days with purpose. You start making decisions that serve your long-term vision, not your short-term cravings. Your actions each day matter more than you think. Every choice is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Discipline allows you to cast those votes intentionally. It turns chaos into structure. It transforms overwhelm into clarity. It makes sure that your time is not being stolen by habits that take you nowhere. The more disciplined you become, the more freedom you create. Freedom is not doing whatever you want whenever you want. Freedom is having control over your time, your energy, and your focus. To build discipline, you must stop relying on how you feel. Feelings are inconsistent. Some days you feel inspired. Some days you feel drained. That's natural. But your discipline has to be stronger than your mood. When you build your life around what must be done, not what you feel like doing, you begin to grow beyond your current limitations. You realize that you don't need perfect energy to be productive. You just need structure, commitment, and follow-through. You can start small. Discipline is not about doing everything at once. It's about choosing a few key actions and doing them without negotiation. Wake up at the same time. Exercise without excuses. Stick to your routine. Say no to distractions. Clean your space. Finish what you start. These may seem simple, but their impact is deep, because it's not just about what you do, it's about who you become as a result. When you keep promises to yourself, you strengthen your character. You stop relying on external rewards and start living with internal pride. That pride is not ego, it's integrity. You begin to look at yourself differently. You walk into each day with clarity. You stop wasting time wondering what to do because you've already decided. You don't need to argue with yourself. You act. And through action you grow. Discipline isn't always comfortable, but neither is regret. You will face moments when you want to give up, when nothing feels exciting, when your progress feels invisible. In those moments, discipline becomes your anchor. It keeps you moving. It protects your progress. It reminds you that your actions are building something far more valuable than comfort. They're building character. You must train your mind to work for you, not against you. Your thoughts will try to talk you out of discipline. They'll say, just skip it today, or you've done enough. But you can't afford to listen to weak thoughts. You have to rise above them. You have to recognize that comfort is always calling, and your job is to say no. Because every time you choose what's easy over what's necessary, you lose a piece of your power. Discipline allows you to take ownership of your life. You stop waiting for motivation, help, or perfect timing. You stop depending on others to push you. You push yourself. That self-leadership is rare, but it's what separates those who wish from those who build. It's what helps you create stability even when life is uncertain. If you look at people who are successful in any area, health, business, relationships, you'll see one thing in common. They don't just act when they feel like it. They've created systems that support their goals. They plan, they prepare, they execute. They don't make excuses. They prioritize what matters, even if it means discomfort now, because they understand that small sacrifices today lead to big rewards later. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You don't have to follow trends. You just have to decide what matters most to you, and then build a life around those priorities. That requires clarity, and clarity fuels discipline. If you're not sure where your time should go, it will be wasted. If you're not clear on your values, your schedule will reflect someone else's agenda. Discipline gives you the ability to say, "This is what I'm about, and this is what I'm willing to do to live that out." There will be days when the results don't show up. You'll wonder if the effort is worth it. You'll question if anyone notices how hard you're working. But you must understand the process is working on you, even if it's invisible. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're building strength. Every time you choose structure over chaos, you're building identity. These gains are not always visible in the mirror, but they show up in your habits, your peace of mind, and your ability to handle pressure. Don't look for fast progress. Look for steady growth. Don't chase easy wins. Build real strength. Discipline teaches you to delay gratification, to play the long game, to trust the process even when the payoff is far away. That's maturity. That's focus. That's the path to building something meaningful. You can't build discipline without accountability. You need to track what you're doing. You need to review your days, your habits, your energy. You need to be honest with yourself. Not to shame yourself, but to grow. You can't fix what you ignore. If something isn't working, don't make excuses. Adjust. If you're falling off track, don't wait until things break. Get back on. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about staying committed even when you slip. Your daily actions are shaping your future. Every time you show up with discipline, you're making life easier for your future self. Every task you complete, every temptation you overcome, every routine you follow, it all compounds. You won't always see the progress right away, but over time discipline rewards you with results that motivation could never produce. You will become the kind of person who doesn't fold under pressure. You'll become reliable, consistent, focused. That's what people respect. That's what creates success. Not big moments, but daily dedication. Not talent alone, but the will to keep going when no one's watching. If you want discipline to last, you must align it with your identity. Don't just say, "I'm trying to be more disciplined." Say, "I am someone who honors their priorities. I am someone who does what needs to be done. I am someone who leads myself." That shift in language changes how you show up, because now it's not just about the task, it's about who you are. Stop waiting to feel like it. Stop hoping things will get easier. Stop looking for shortcuts. Build discipline through action. Build it through choices. Build it through discomfort. Because that's where real freedom is found, not in avoiding effort, but in becoming strong enough to do what others won't. This is your moment to stop drifting. This is your chance to raise your standard. You are capable of more than you think, but you'll never access that potential without discipline. You must commit to the process. You must do the work when it's boring. You must follow through when nobody's cheering. You must take control of your time, your habits, and your direction. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You need to honor yourself. Every day is a chance to practice. Every day is an opportunity to grow. Use it. Train your mind. Strengthen your will. Master your habits. Discipline is the path to power. It's the key to peace. It's how you live with intention, not impulse. And when you make it a part of your life, not just a tool you use sometimes, but a principle you live by, you begin to feel a kind of strength that nothing can shake. You stop falling behind. You stop being ruled by emotion. You start building a life that reflects your values. And most importantly, you become someone you can rely on. That's what it means to cultivate powerful discipline. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. And it's not something you're given. It's something you create. Every day, through action, through intention, through the decision to show up, no matter what. Chapter 4. Surround yourself daily with motivated, positive people. The people you interact with every day shape your attitude, your mindset, your energy, and the direction of your life more than you may realize. If you want to grow, if you want to stay focused, if you want to stay consistent with your goals, then you must make the deliberate choice to be around people who fuel that growth, not those who drain it. The environment you live in isn't just the space around you, it's the energy, values, and behavior of the people you let close. Every conversation you have, every influence you allow in your mind, every presence you accept around you contributes to who you become. Your time, your energy, and your thoughts are too valuable to give to people who aren't building themselves, who complain constantly, who live in doubt, or who make excuses instead of taking responsibility. When you spend time with people who are motivated, focused, and working to improve themselves, something shifts in you. Their energy wakes something up inside you. Their discipline inspires action. Their language is filled with clarity, ownership, and purpose. Being around people who are serious about their growth reminds you of what you're capable of. You start thinking bigger. You stop settling. You begin to stretch beyond your limits because you're no longer the only one holding yourself to a higher standard. That kind of environment doesn't just support your goals, it challenges you to rise. There is a silent power in surrounding yourself with individuals who believe in progress. They won't let you make excuses. They won't allow you to play small. They'll tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear, and that honesty will make you sharper. It's not about being told what to do, it's about being reminded of who you want to become. If you're always around people who settle, who complain, who live without purpose, that influence rubs off on you. Slowly, your standards drop. Your fire fades. You start adopting their thinking without even realizing it. It's not a sudden fall, it's a slow drift away from excellence. That's why your circle matters. That's why you must protect your energy with intensity. You don't need 100 people to support your growth. You just need a few individuals who are serious about becoming better. People who are willing to work hard, to face their fears, to take responsibility, to live with integrity. Find people who have strong habits, who don't rely on hype, who stay disciplined when nobody's watching. These are the kinds of people who make you want to level up. These are the kinds of people who help you stay consistent when your motivation drops. You will become like the people you speak to the most. You will think like them, talk like them, and behave like them, so be intentional. Choose people who sharpen you, who challenge your excuses, who remind you of your highest potential. There will always be people who mock growth, who dismiss ambition, who resist change. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to argue with them. You just need to distance yourself, not with hatred, not with judgment, but with a clear decision to protect your focus. You owe no one your energy if they repeatedly bring negativity, doubt, or drama into your life. You can care about people without keeping them close. You can wish them well without walking beside them. Your path requires clarity, and clarity can't exist in chaos. Sometimes your greatest growth will begin when you stop answering certain calls, stop engaging in meaningless conversations, and stop spending time in environments that keep you small. The silence that follows might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel alone. But in that space, something powerful happens. You begin to hear your own voice again. You begin to rebuild your standards. You start making decisions based on who you want to be, not based on who others want you to be. That's the beginning of real alignment. Once you create that space, start filling it with people who live with purpose. If you don't know anyone yet, seek them out. Read the books of disciplined leaders. Watch the stories of people who have overcome massive obstacles. Listen to those who speak with clarity, with honesty, with strength. Study their habits. Learn from their structure. Be the kind of person who attracts excellence by first embodying it. You don't wait for great people to appear. You become great yourself, and then you attract those who are on the same path. There's something powerful about being surrounded by people who are focused. They don't waste time talking about others. They talk about ideas, solutions, and improvements. They don't make excuses. They take ownership. They don't complain. They take action. These people don't need to hype themselves up every morning. Their habits do the work. Their environment reflects discipline. Their language reflects responsibility. That's the type of energy you want to keep in your space, because when life gets hard, and it will, you need people who don't panic. You need people who stay grounded, who stay consistent, who remind you of your strength when you forget it yourself. And this isn't about perfection. It's not about being around people who never struggle. It's about being around people who keep going despite the struggle. People who are honest about their setbacks, but never use them as an excuse to stay down. You want to be surrounded by people who are not impressed by talk. People who value action. People who respect follow-through more than ideas. Because that mindset is contagious. When you see someone get up early every day, stick to their routine, face their fears, stay humble, you start to reflect that same behavior. You begin to carry yourself differently. Not because you're trying to copy them, but because excellence becomes your new standard. You are not just protecting your goals, you are protecting your future. Every relationship you keep influences your trajectory. Every conversation you have shapes your thinking. You have to guard your mind the way you would guard your most valuable asset, because it is. If your mind is filled with distraction, negativity, or doubt, even the best opportunities won't mean anything. But if your mind is sharp, strong, and clear, you'll find ways to rise, no matter what happens. This is why the daily part matters. It's not enough to be around good people occasionally. You need that energy consistently. Growth is not something you tap into once a month. It's something you live every day. You need conversations that challenge you. You need people who remind you to stay locked in. You need voices that pull you back into alignment when you drift. That kind of daily accountability is rare, but it's powerful. And once you experience it, you'll never want to go back to shallow connections. You have a choice every day to feed your mind with clarity or confusion, to feed your spirit with strength or doubt. Your circle is one of the strongest influences on which path you choose. Don't take that lightly. Pay attention to how you feel after being with certain people. Do you feel more focused or more distracted? More encouraged or more discouraged? More clear or more confused? Your emotions are data. Use them to protect your progress. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is have a real conversation with someone who holds you to a higher standard. Someone who reminds you of the promises you made to yourself. Someone who doesn't allow you to lower your standards just because life got hard. You need people who tell you the truth when it's inconvenient. People who don't flatter you, who challenge you. That's love. That's support. That's real friendship. And if you can't find those people yet, be that person. Be the one who leads by example. Be the one who lives with discipline. Be the one who moves with purpose. Eventually, others who live the same way will find you, or you'll find them. But don't wait. Start by creating that standard within yourself. Your environment isn't just what surrounds you, it's what you build. Start building. You can't build a powerful life in a weak environment. You can't stay focused in a room full of distractions. You can't maintain strong habits in a culture that rewards laziness. That's why you must choose your people intentionally. That's why you must protect your time. That's why you must say no, not just to bad influences, but to average ones too. Because average is comfortable, but it won't take you where you want to go. If you want more out of life, surround yourself with people who want more too. If you want to grow, surround yourself with people who push their limits. If you want peace, surround yourself with people who speak with clarity, not chaos. You'll always reflect your surroundings. Make sure those surroundings reflect your values, your goals, and your vision. Growth is not a solo game. You can't do it all alone forever. You need support, accountability, and alignment. And when you find that, everything begins to shift. You stop doubting your goals. You stop questioning your value. You begin to move with certainty, with confidence, with clarity. That's the power of the right people. That's the strength of the right circle. So look around, evaluate your environment. Ask yourself if your daily circle is helping you rise or keeping you small. And if the answer isn't clear, then it's time to make changes. Not later. Now. Your future depends on it. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your greatness. People who help you stay focused. People who refuse to settle. And become that person for others too. This is how you build a powerful life, one relationship at a time, one conversation at a time, one standard at a time. Choose wisely. Choose intentionally. Choose people who help you rise every single day. Chapter 5. Master self-control and choose your actions intentionally. Self-control is the quiet force that determines the quality of your life. It's not the loud victories that build your future. It's the small decisions made moment by moment when nobody is watching. You don't wake up with self-control. You develop it by practicing awareness, by learning how to pause, and by choosing intention over impulse. When you master self-control, you stop reacting to life and start responding with clarity. You take your power back from distractions, emotions, and temptations that try to pull you off course. It's not about being rigid. It's about being aware enough to choose what aligns with who you want to be. You no longer act just because it feels good in the moment. You act because it makes sense for your growth. You must begin by observing your daily choices. Look closely at how often you do things without thinking. How often you reach for your phone when you feel bored. How often you speak without reflecting. How often you delay what matters, because comfort feels better than discipline. That's not failure. That's a sign that your life is being driven by habit instead of direction. But the moment you notice it, you create a gap between the trigger and your response. And in that gap is your opportunity to grow. The goal isn't to eliminate emotion. The goal is to recognize it, hold it, and choose your response from a place of strength, not from a place of urgency. Choosing your actions intentionally is not about being robotic. It's about refusing to let the weaker parts of you make decisions for the stronger version of you. Every time you take a breath before responding, every time you step back and ask, does this help or hurt my growth? You strengthen the muscle of self-control. And like any muscle, the more you use it, the more power it gains. If you give in to every urge, you train yourself to be impulsive. But when you pause, when you think, when you choose on purpose, you train yourself to lead your life, not just live it. Most of your mistakes will come from moments where you didn't pause, where you let your mood take over your logic, where you reacted too fast, where you didn't stop to think if your choice aligned with your standards. Mastering self-control is about creating space between what you feel and what you do. That space gives you freedom. That space gives you clarity. That space gives you power. This discipline is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about not letting them lead. Feel what you feel, but don't let your emotions decide your actions. You can feel frustrated and still speak with respect. You can feel tired and still get the job done. You can feel tempted and still say no. That's what strength looks like in real life. Not loud, not dramatic, but intentional and grounded. Every time you follow through with what you said you'd do, you build trust with yourself. Every time you resist the pull of instant gratification, you grow. Every time you act from clarity, instead of impulse, you become someone you can count on. Self-control is not about perfection. You will still make mistakes. You will still feel triggered. But over time, you will develop the ability to catch yourself faster, to adjust your response, to think before you act. And that's the difference between chaos and order in your life. The reason most people struggle with progress is not because they lack talent. It's because they haven't mastered the discipline of choosing wisely. They chase comfort, they act on impulse, and they drift through their days without purpose. But the life you want requires structure. It requires inner leadership. It requires you to do what's right, even when it's hard. That's what separates growth from stagnation. That's what turns good intentions into real transformation. You must learn to say no, not just to others, but to yourself. When your mind tells you to scroll instead of work, say no. When your body says skip the workout, say no. When your emotions say react with anger, say no. Every time you say no to what weakens you, you say yes to who you want to become. It's a decision, one that repeats itself throughout the day. You don't win the battle once. You win it over and over again by choosing with intention. To develop this kind of strength, you need awareness. You need to slow down enough to notice your patterns. Where are you losing control? When are you making choices you regret? What triggers pull you into behavior that doesn't serve you? Study yourself like you would study a system. Observe without judgment. Don't shame yourself. Just notice. Once you see the pattern, you can change it. And that change starts with one decision, one intentional choice that breaks the cycle and begins a new one. Start by controlling your mornings. Don't let the world invade your mind the moment you wake up. Don't scroll. Don't check messages. Don't start your day reacting to noise. Begin with clarity. Move slowly. Set your intention. Breathe. This one shift will give you power over the rest of your day. Because how you begin determines how you continue. If you start rushed, scattered and distracted, you spend the day catching up. But if you start with presence, focus and direction, you stay ahead. Apply self-control to how you speak. Words carry energy. Once released, they can't be taken back. Don't let frustration control your mouth. Don't let insecurity turn into sarcasm. Don't let stress become aggression. Pause, think, speak from strength, not from fear. This doesn't mean you suppress your truth. It means you deliver it with purpose, not force. You don't need to yell to be powerful. You don't need to prove anything. Real power is calm, steady, and grounded in self-awareness. Apply it to your habits. What you eat, how you rest, how you move your body. You can't expect a strong mind in a weak body. You can't expect clarity from a brain that's overfed, underrested, and overstimulated. Discipline your inputs. Control what you consume. Food, content, conversations. Don't poison your progress with small daily decisions that feel harmless, but cost you your momentum. Choose better, not just occasionally, but consistently. Self-control also means setting boundaries. You don't need to attend every argument. You don't need to answer every request. You don't need to be available all the time. Say no when it disrupts your focus. Say no when it disturbs your peace. Say no when it pulls you away from your purpose. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. You can't lead your life if others are constantly leading your time. Sometimes, the hardest person to control is yourself. But once you learn how to lead your emotions, your thoughts, and your behavior, everything begins to shift. You make better decisions. You respond with wisdom. You stop sabotaging your own progress. That's what it means to be in control. Not rigid, not emotionless, but intentional and aligned. This doesn't happen overnight. You'll fall, you'll slip, you'll have days where you give in. That's normal. But you don't stay down. You learn from it. You tighten your structure. You come back stronger. Self-control is built through experience, through doing the hard thing, through choosing long-term peace over short-term pleasure, through remembering your vision when it would be easier to forget. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are not a slave to your urges. You are not defined by your impulses. You have the power to lead yourself, to discipline your habits, to master your behavior. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a choice to slow down, a choice to pause, a choice to lead yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. Choose your actions with intention. Don't live by accident. Don't follow the crowd. Don't react to every trigger. Live with structure. Live with awareness. Live with focus. You know what strengthens you. You know what distracts you. Now act accordingly. Don't drift. Don't delay. Lead yourself with purpose. The strength you're searching for is not outside of you. It's already within you. But it only comes alive through discipline, through consistency, through choosing what serves you instead of what soothes you. This is how you master your mind. This is how you change your behavior. This is how you build a life that reflects your highest values. It's not easy. It's not instant. But it's worth it. Every time you say no to a habit that weakens you, you say yes to a future that honors you. Every time you act from awareness, you move closer to peace. This is not a trick. It's a decision. To take control, to stay focused, to live with intention. Master self-control. Choose your actions, not randomly, not impulsively, but with vision, with clarity, with discipline, one moment at a time, every single day. Chapter 6. Embrace challenges and push through every tough obstacle. Every person who has ever grown into someone strong, focused, and capable has done so by walking through hard situations, not avoiding them. Growth is not born from ease. It is forged in difficulty, pressure, and struggle. The strongest minds are shaped by the hardest seasons, not by comfort. You don't become unshakable by living a soft life. You become unshakable when you choose to face what tests you, instead of looking for a way around it. The difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck is not talent. It's not luck. It's their relationship with difficulty. The ones who rise are the ones who learn how to lean into the hard parts and keep moving. Challenges are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They are the proof that you're doing something meaningful. If the path was smooth, everyone would take it. If the work was easy, it wouldn't be transformational. The truth is, you will be tested, mentally, emotionally, physically, and you must decide in advance that no matter what appears, you will keep going. Waiting for life to get easier is a trap. Waiting for the timing to feel perfect is an illusion. There is no perfect moment. There is only the decision to face what's in front of you and grow through it. Pain is not always punishment. Most of the time, it's feedback. It's the resistance that shows you where your limits are. But it's also the signal that something powerful is being built inside you. You don't grow when things go your way. You grow when nothing goes your way, and you choose to stay focused anyway. Challenges introduce you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. They strip away the noise and force you to see what's real. They teach you what you're capable of. They bring clarity to your values, your direction, your purpose. If you avoid these moments, you avoid your own evolution. You don't have to enjoy challenges to embrace them. You don't have to like discomfort to work through it. But you do have to understand that avoiding it only leads to weakness. Avoiding it leads to mental softness. Avoiding it leads to a life where you're always reacting, always protecting, always running. But when you learn to move forward through difficulty, you begin to shift. Your mindset changes. You stop asking for easy and start demanding strong. You stop hoping for less resistance and start training for more endurance. You stop waiting for smooth roads and start learning how to drive through anything. When life pushes you, push back harder. Not with rage, not with panic, with calm, with focus, with strength. The storm isn't there to break you, it's there to build you. But you must stop expecting it to pass before you move. The longer you wait for perfect circumstances, the more time you waste. The people who change their lives are the ones who work with what they have, right where they are, no matter how messy or painful or unclear it is. They refuse to back down just because things got hard. They adapt. They adjust. They get stronger. That's what it means to embrace challenge. Challenges will reveal your weaknesses. That's a gift. You can't fix what you don't face. Every time you hit a wall, you're given a chance to either turn back or learn. Learn where you're lacking. Learn where you're still fragile. Learn where you need to build new habits, new thinking, new strength. That knowledge is valuable, but only if you keep going. Most people quit too early, not because they're incapable, but because they never gave themselves the chance to grow past the resistance. If you can stay with the pressure long enough, you will change. Not by force, but by persistence. The process will not be linear. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll feel broken, but neither state is permanent. Feelings come and go. Discipline stays. Keep showing up. Keep working. Keep trusting the process even when there are no immediate results. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will come on days when you feel the weakest, but choose to act anyway. You'll surprise yourself. You'll see that your limits are not fixed, they're expandable, but only through action. It's important to train your mind to expect resistance, not in a negative way, but in a realistic way. Don't be shocked when challenges come. Prepare for them. Build yourself for them. Mentally rehearse how you will respond when things fall apart. Remind yourself that struggle is not failure, it's part of the process. People who grow prepare their minds before the challenge shows up. They don't wait until they're overwhelmed to build strength. They build strength every day, so when the test comes, they're ready. You must also separate struggle from identity. Just because something is hard doesn't mean you're weak. Just because you're tired doesn't mean you're failing. Stop letting tough moments make you question your value. You are not the difficulty you face. You are the person moving through it. That difference matters. It's what gives you perspective. It's what helps you stay grounded. Don't internalize every setback. Don't make temporary pain mean something permanent about who you are. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. But never let it define you. The truth is, the greatest advantage you can have is a resilient mindset. When your mind is tough, you can face anything. When your thinking is disciplined, your environment has less control over you. You stop needing everything around you to be perfect. You stop depending on motivation. You build your life on principles, not feelings. You decide who you're going to be, and then you act like it, no matter what life throws at you. That's power. That's maturity. That's freedom. You must stop avoiding discomfort. Discomfort is where the growth lives. If you only do what feels safe, you'll stay the same. If you only work when it's easy, you'll never build endurance. If you only act when the conditions are perfect, you'll miss every opportunity that requires strength. Strength is built in the moments you want to quit, but don't. It's built when you feel exhausted, but still give your best. It's built when you face loss, rejection, fear or failure, and keep going. Every challenge is a choice. You can either complain or get better. You can either run or rise. You can either make excuses or make progress. But you cannot do both. You don't need to explain your struggle to everyone. You don't need sympathy. You need action. Action that moves you forward. Action that restores your belief in yourself. Action that reminds you that no matter how hard it gets, you will not back down. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to ignore pain. Acknowledge it. Feel it. But don't stay in it. Don't let pain become your story. Let it be part of your process, not your identity. You are not here to be crushed by life. You are here to overcome it, to rise above it, to become stronger because of it. You must begin to expect more from yourself, not in pressure, but in purpose. Raise your standard, not in comparison to others, but in alignment with your vision. You know the areas of your life where you've been playing small. You know where you've been holding back. You know the excuses you've been making. Now it's time to stop negotiating with them. It's time to choose strength over comfort. It's time to face the challenge head on. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to move forward. One step at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. You're not going to wake up one day suddenly strong. You're going to build strength through consistent decisions, through showing up when it's hard, through staying focused when you want to escape, through doing what you said you would do, even when it's uncomfortable. That's what growth really is. Not excitement, not motivation, just focused action. Eventually, what once felt hard becomes normal. What once scared you becomes familiar. What once made you doubt yourself now makes you proud. That's the reward for staying with it. That's the reward for not quitting when it got painful. And it's not about achieving everything overnight. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't fold under pressure, who doesn't disappear when life gets hard, who doesn't break at every sign of discomfort. Becoming that person is the real goal, because that person can handle anything. That person can adapt, endure, adjust and continue no matter what. And that person is already inside you, waiting to be revealed, waiting to be brought to the surface through consistent action and unshakable commitment. Stop looking for the easy path, choose the right one. Stop chasing comfort, choose challenge. Stop avoiding effort, choose growth. There's no magic. There's just you, facing what's in front of you with courage, clarity and consistency. Push through every obstacle, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because you feel ready, but because you've decided to grow. This is your time to step forward, to stay grounded, to act with strength. Every challenge is an invitation. Accept it, face it, rise through it, and keep moving, no matter how hard it gets. Chapter 7. Prioritize your growth and eliminate all wasted activities. You don't become better by accident. You become better by decision. Every day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you're making choices. These choices either bring you closer to who you want to become or keep you stuck in patterns that waste your potential. If you don't make growth a priority, life will fill your time with distractions, noise, and habits that look harmless but slowly steal your focus. You can't move forward while carrying the weight of everything that doesn't matter. You have to be ruthless with your time, your energy, and your attention. Every minute counts, every action matters. You either grow or you stay the same. There is no neutral. Growth doesn't happen just because you wish for it. Growth happens when you decide that your future is more important than your comfort. It happens when you stop negotiating with laziness. It happens when you stop making excuses for wasted time. It happens when you realize that most of what fills your schedule has nothing to do with your goals, and you start cutting it out with discipline. You don't have time to waste on things that don't feed your mind, build your skills, or strengthen your discipline. You don't have the luxury to entertain distractions when your life is calling for change. If you keep letting pointless habits run your day, you will live the same year again and again, calling it a life. The people who grow fast are not the ones with more talent. They are the ones with more clarity. They know exactly what they want, and they make sure everything they do supports that vision. They're not interested in fitting in or keeping up with everyone else. They're focused. They know their time is limited, and they treat it like a valuable resource. They don't say yes to everything. They don't waste hours scrolling through empty content. They don't stay in conversations that go nowhere. They move with purpose. They build with intention. If you're serious about growth, you have to track how you spend your time. Not in theory. In real life, what do your mornings look like? What do your afternoons feel like? What fills your evenings? Where do your hours go? If you don't look, you won't see. And if you don't see, you won't change. Most people are not aware of how much time they waste. They think they're busy, but they're just distracted. They confuse motion with progress. They fill their schedule with low-value tasks and avoid the hard, high-value work that leads to growth. You can't afford to live like that anymore. Start cutting out what doesn't serve you. Be honest with yourself. What activities make you tired but bring no progress? What routines keep you busy but never move you forward? What habits give you comfort but leave you empty? Eliminate them. Not slowly, decisively. Every moment you free from distraction is a moment you can use to build something real. You'll never rise if you keep wasting energy on things that don't matter. This isn't about perfection. You don't have to be productive every second, but you do need to be intentional. Rest with purpose. Work with focus. Spend your time in a way that reflects your values, not your impulses. If something doesn't align with your goals, don't keep it around. Cut it out, no matter how small it seems. Wasted minutes become wasted days. Wasted days become wasted years. And that's a cost you can't afford. You don't need more time. You need better choices. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. What separates those who grow from those who stay stuck is how they use those hours. If your day is full of tasks that don't lead to progress, you're moving but not improving. Stop trying to do everything. Start doing the few things that matter most, and do them with full intensity. That's how you grow. That's how you take control. To prioritize growth, you must first decide what growth means to you. What do you want to build? What skills do you need to develop? What habits do you need to master? What kind of mindset do you want to carry? Be clear. Without clarity, you'll keep chasing everything and catching nothing. Once you know what growth looks like for you, make a plan. Don't rely on motivation. Build structure. Set specific times to read, to train, to build, to reflect, and protect that time like your life depends on it, because it does. You will be tested. Life will try to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. People will expect you to stay the same. Old habits will try to sneak back in. Your mind will look for ways to delay, to escape, to avoid. That's why you need discipline. That's why you need a clear reason behind everything you do. Remind yourself every day why this matters. Remind yourself why you can't go back to the old version of you. Remind yourself that growth is not a luxury. It's a responsibility. Start measuring your progress. Not in results alone, but in behavior. Did you stick to your routine? Did you say no to distractions? Did you give your best today, even if it was messy? Track that. Celebrate that. Let your consistency become your confidence. You don't need to grow fast. You need to grow steadily. You need to build a rhythm that you can sustain, even on your worst days. That rhythm comes from structure, from focus, from removing everything that pulls you away from your path. Wasted activities often come dressed as comfort. They feel easy, they feel relaxing, but they slowly take your edge away. They drain your drive, they dull your ambition. You start settling, you stop pushing, you lower your standard. That's how people lose momentum, not because they made one bad decision, but because they made 1,000 small ones that felt harmless at the time. You don't have to fear failure. You have to fear wasted time, because time doesn't come back. Create a daily routine that reflects your goals. Wake up with clarity. Start the day with intention. Don't let your phone decide how you think. Don't let the outside world control your focus. Create space to think. Make time to read, to train, to create, to learn. Build a system that helps you win, and if something isn't working, fix it. Don't wait for rock bottom. Don't wait for permission. Adjust, adapt, and move forward. You are not here to stay average. You are not here to live on autopilot. You are not here to exist. You are here to grow, to improve, to evolve into the person you know you can become. But that won't happen unless you make it your priority. Not once a week. Every single day, growth must be a non-negotiable part of your life. It must show up in your actions, in your schedule, in your choices. That's how you change. That's how you rise. Let go of what doesn't serve your future. Let go of what drains your energy. Let go of habits that keep you small. Choose discomfort that leads to growth over comfort that leads to regret. Choose focus over distraction. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose discipline over delay. That's how you build a life you're proud of. Not through luck, not through hope, through decisions, through consistent focused action. This is your moment to clean up your life, to get serious, to stop wasting time pretending you don't know what to do. You do know. You just haven't made it a priority yet. Make it now. Don't wait until it's urgent. Don't wait until it's too late. Begin today. Look at your habits. Look at your time. Look at your environment. Remove what doesn't belong. Make space for what matters. And protect that space like your growth depends on it. Because it does. Every wasted hour is an opportunity lost. Every useless task is a distraction from your vision. Every minute spent on something meaningless is one you could have used to learn, to train, to move forward. Stop letting the days pass without purpose. Stop living like time is unlimited. Stop acting like growth will just happen. It won't. You have to fight for it. You have to work for it. You have to protect it. No one is coming to do it for you. No one is going to make you focus. No one is going to eliminate distractions for you. That's your job. That's your responsibility. And if you take it seriously, everything will begin to shift. You'll see progress faster. You'll feel stronger. You'll think clearer. Not because life got easier, but because you became focused. Make a decision right now that your time matters, that your growth matters, that your energy matters. Cut the distractions. Cancel the noise. Get focused. Get disciplined. Get serious. This is your life. This is your future. And it's built one choice at a time. 1 hour at a time. 1 day at a time. Prioritize your growth. Eliminate all wasted activities. And never look back. Chapter 8. Take bold decisions and trust your inner instincts fully. Most people spend their lives avoiding decisions. They wait, hesitate, analyze, and overthink until the moment to act passes. Then they call it caution or wisdom. But deep down they know they didn't act because they were scared. Scared of failing, of being judged, of making the wrong move. They don't realize that not deciding is also a decision. And in most cases, it's the one that keeps them stuck. If you want to live a bold life, if you want to step into your full potential, you must learn to trust your instincts and make decisions with confidence, even when you don't have all the answers. Bold decisions are not reckless. They are rooted in clarity, driven by vision and guided by the belief that forward movement is more valuable than standing still. Life doesn't give you certainty. It gives you chances. You either take them or you don't. But the more you hesitate, the more you disconnect from your inner voice. And that voice, your instinct, is one of the most powerful tools you have. It's built from your experiences, your values, your struggles, your truths. When you learn to listen to it, you stop needing permission. You stop waiting for validation. You start creating your path with intention. You cannot grow by playing safe. You cannot become strong by doing only what's comfortable. Every breakthrough you're looking for sits behind a decision you've been avoiding. That change you want, that next step, that transformation, it's waiting for you to move. But if you keep delaying because you want every detail mapped out, you'll stay in the same cycle. Bold decisions are rarely made with perfect clarity. They're made with courage, with the understanding that even if it doesn't go perfectly, you'll grow from it. You'll adjust. You'll learn. You'll keep going. There is no perfect decision. Every choice you make will carry some level of risk. But that's not a reason to stop. It's a reason to step up. Most people overestimate the cost of failure and underestimate the cost of inaction. Failure teaches. Inaction wastes. And the longer you wait to act, the more disconnected you become from your potential. When you trust your inner instincts, you give yourself the chance to live in alignment with who you really are. Not the watered-down version of you that lives to avoid criticism, but the bold version that speaks with conviction, acts with purpose, and moves without second-guessing. You already know what you need to do. You've felt it. That pull in your gut, that nudge that says, this is your move. But you've been quieting it, talking yourself out of it, explaining it away. You've let fear pose as logic. You've told yourself that maybe later is better. But the truth is that instinct won't go away. It will stay inside you, becoming heavier, louder, more painful, because you were not meant to live in hesitation. You were meant to act, to move, to lead your life, not react to it. Trusting yourself doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. It means you're willing to take full responsibility for your path. It means you're willing to make adjustments when needed, but you won't abandon yourself. It means you honor your voice even when others don't understand it. Too many people lose themselves trying to meet the expectations of everyone around them. They ignore their own truth in exchange for approval. But no matter how much praise you get for following someone else's path, it will never feel like home. Your instincts know where you need to go. Your job is to listen and act. Start by owning your decisions. Stop waiting for guarantees. Stop looking for someone to confirm your every step. Take the risk, not blindly, but with intention. Think clearly. Decide quickly. Act boldly. The longer you stay in indecision, the more you disconnect from your inner power. You begin to think you're not capable, not ready, not good enough. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from it. You become more confident by proving to yourself that you can move without perfect conditions. You don't need to have it all figured out to make a bold move. You just need to know what direction feels right. That's enough to take the first step. Clarity will come through action. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. But if you wait for the full picture, you'll never start. And nothing kills momentum faster than endless hesitation. Every time you choose to move with boldness, you create progress, and that progress builds belief. It builds trust. It strengthens the connection between your instincts and your behavior. One of the most important parts of trusting your instincts is quieting the noise. Everyone has opinions. Everyone thinks they know what's best for you. But no one lives with your regrets except you. So choose based on what you know is right for you, not what makes others comfortable. You don't need to be aggressive to be bold. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. Boldness is calm. It's clear. It's rooted in self-respect. It's not about proving anything to the world. It's about aligning your life with your truth. When you start making bold decisions, your life changes. You stop living in fear. You stop shrinking. You stop settling. You begin to act from strength, not from doubt. You take responsibility for your outcomes. You stop blaming others. You stop looking outside yourself for answers that can only come from within. And even when you get it wrong, you learn faster. You become more resilient. You start making decisions based on what's possible, not just what's familiar. You don't need to rush, but you do need to act. Don't confuse slowness with wisdom if it's really just fear dressed up as patience. There is a time for reflection, but there is also a time for movement. You've already done enough thinking. Now it's time to decide. Not perfectly, not permanently, just boldly. And if it doesn't work, adjust, but don't retreat. Don't fall back into waiting. Growth demands motion. Boldness creates momentum. Start practicing this every day. Make choices quickly. Speak your truth clearly. Move with conviction. When you feel the pull to act, act. Even if your hands shake, even if your heart races, even if your voice cracks. Because bold action is not about being fearless. It's about moving forward while fear is still in the room. That's what changes you. That's what builds a life you're proud of. You don't need to explain your instincts to everyone. Some people won't get it. That's okay. You're not here to live their life. You're here to live yours. And the more you trust your gut, the sharper it becomes. The more you act with clarity, the stronger your decisions feel. The more you stand in your truth, the less you care about fitting in. You start building a life that's based on depth, not approval. Most people regret the chances they didn't take, the conversations they avoided, the paths they didn't explore. Don't be that person. Don't let fear of being wrong stop you from being real. Don't let the discomfort of change keep you in a life that doesn't reflect your potential. Be willing to risk being misunderstood in order to be authentic. Be willing to take the road less traveled if it aligns with your values. Be willing to stand alone if it means standing in truth. There will be moments where everything in you wants to pause, wait, or run. In those moments, pause only long enough to breathe, then move. One step, one decision, one bold act of courage that shifts your direction. That's how you build a life of meaning. That's how you break free from doubt. That's how you become who you were always meant to be. You will not feel ready. That's normal. Do it anyway. You will not have guarantees. That's reality. Move anyway. You will feel exposed, judged, unsure. That's part of growth. Choose yourself anyway. Because every time you act boldly, you strengthen your self-respect. You remind yourself that you are capable. You take back your power. This is not just about big life decisions. It's about the little ones too. Say what needs to be said. Ask the question you've been holding back. Set the boundary you've been avoiding. Walk away from what's draining you. Say yes to what lights you up. Do the thing you've been putting off. Live like you mean it. Not tomorrow. Now. You're not waiting for the right time anymore. You're not hoping someone else sees your value. You're not shrinking to make others comfortable. You're standing in your truth. You're acting with clarity. You're trusting yourself even when it's uncomfortable. That's bold. That's powerful. That's growth. You don't need permission. You already know what to do. Now do it. Chapter 9. Set clear targets and attack them with relentless energy. Most people drift through life without direction. They move, but they don't move with purpose. They work, but they don't work with a clear goal. They stay busy, but they don't get closer to anything that truly matters. And then they wonder why progress feels slow, why motivation fades, and why every day feels the same. The problem is not lack of effort. The problem is lack of clarity. You cannot build a meaningful life without knowing exactly what you're working toward. You need clear, specific targets. You need goals that pull you out of bed, sharpen your focus, and give your actions meaning. Without targets, you're just reacting to life instead of leading it. You have to decide what matters to you. Not in vague terms, in precise, measurable ways. It's not enough to say you want success. What does that mean to you? What does it look like in your daily life? What does it require from you? Get honest about it. Vague desires produce vague results. Clear goals create focused action. You don't hit what you don't aim at. If you want to grow, evolve, and achieve something that feels real, then clarity has to come first. Once you've set your targets, you need to pursue them with intensity, not with hesitation, not with part-time effort, with relentless energy. That means showing up every day with a sense of urgency. That means organizing your time around what matters. That means refusing to let comfort, distraction, or doubt pull you away from your focus. You don't make progress by being casual. You make progress by being committed. Your energy needs to match your ambition. If your goals are big, your work ethic needs to be bigger. There's nothing magical about people who achieve great things. They're not superhuman. They just have clarity and discipline. They know what they want, and they don't waste time on anything that doesn't help them get there. They don't talk about what they're going to do. They act. They don't wait to feel ready. They move. They stay on track when others lose focus. They keep going when others get tired. And that consistency, that drive, that hunger builds momentum. If you want to experience that momentum, you have to stop waiting for ideal conditions. Stop thinking about what might go wrong. Stop holding back because it might be hard. Everything worth building will require effort. Everything worth chasing will demand sacrifice. The question is not, will it be hard? The question is, will you keep going anyway? And if the answer is yes, then act like it. Cut the distractions. Cancel the noise. Align your time with your goals. You have to become obsessive about your priorities. Not in an unhealthy way, but in a focused way. That means you don't let random things steal your attention. That means you stop saying yes to everything. That means you design your schedule around what builds you. If you want to make real progress, you can't live on autopilot. You can't keep reacting to every notification, every email, every request. You have to take control of your day. You have to move with purpose. You have to guard your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Relentless energy is not about hype. It's not about temporary motivation. It's about consistent action. It's about waking up and doing the work, even when it's not exciting. It's about pushing through when you're tired. It's about sticking to the plan when nobody's watching. Energy doesn't mean being loud or fast. It means being steady. It means being committed. It means being unwilling to give up, even when progress is slow. You have to understand that goals are not achieved in a day. They're achieved through days, stacked one after another, filled with focused effort. Every workout, every study session, every hour of deep work, it all adds up. Every moment you stay locked in puts you one step closer. That's why urgency matters. That's why intensity matters. Because every day you coast, every day you waste, is a day you don't get back. Don't expect anyone to hold you accountable. Don't wait for someone to check on your progress. Own your results. Track your work. Keep your promises to yourself. The strongest people are not the ones who get support every step of the way. They're the ones who lead themselves when no one's looking. They're the ones who keep moving when no one claps. They're the ones who stay disciplined when no one's around. That's what relentless energy looks like. It's not flashy. It's powerful. It's consistent. Make your targets visual. Write them down. Put them where you can see them. Review them daily. Don't let them fade into the background. Bring them to the front of your mind every morning. Remind yourself why they matter. Connect your goals to something personal, something deep, something emotional. That connection is what fuels you when discipline gets hard. That's what keeps you moving when the results haven't shown up yet. You have to stop pretending that effort alone is enough. Effort without direction leads to burnout. You can work hard and go nowhere if you're not focused. That's why clarity is your starting point. And once you have it, energy becomes your weapon. Relentless, focused, unshakable energy. That's how you separate from the crowd. That's how you reach levels most people never touch. Not because you're better, but because you chose to focus. Because you chose to act with purpose. You don't need more time. You need better focus. You don't need more inspiration. You need stronger discipline. You don't need more motivation. You need to remember your mission. Every time you forget your why, you lose energy. Every time you lose focus, you waste time. Every time you get distracted, you slow down. That's why alignment matters. That's why daily review matters. Because your mind needs constant reminders of what's important. Without that, it drifts. And drift is the enemy of progress. If you're tired, rest. But don't quit. If you're overwhelmed, simplify. But don't abandon your path. If you're uncertain, reflect. But don't stop moving. Energy doesn't mean speed. It means forward motion. Even slow steps, taken daily, create results. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be persistent. You don't need to do everything at once. You need to keep doing the right things consistently. Build a system around your goals. Create structure. Set timelines. Break big goals into smaller targets. Celebrate progress. Adjust when needed, but never stop moving forward. When your life becomes a reflection of your priorities, everything changes. You stop drifting. You stop wasting time. You stop settling for less. And you begin to live with purpose. This is your reminder to stop delaying, to stop talking, to stop making excuses. You already know what you want. Now it's time to act like it. Set your targets. Make them real. Then attack them with everything you've got. Relentless energy means no more wasting time on things that don't matter. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more pretending that half effort is enough. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need more time to think. You need to act. You need to execute. You need to lead yourself with discipline and power. The results you want are waiting for your full effort. The future you dream about is built by today's choices. And the life you're capable of living will only show up when you match your actions to your ambition. This is the time to be bold, to be focused, to be intentional. You're not here to survive. You're here to grow. You're here to achieve. You're here to create something real. Set the target. Lock in. Then go after it with everything inside you. No hesitation. No delay. Just clarity, just discipline, just forward motion, every single day. Chapter 10. Wake early and seize every opportunity life offers you. The way you start your day shapes everything that follows. If you wait until the world wakes up to begin your life, you're already behind. Waking early isn't just about time, it's about taking control. It's about giving yourself a head start, a moment of clarity before the noise, a quiet space to prepare your mind before the chaos begins. Those early hours are yours. They're not pulled by distractions, notifications, or responsibilities. They are free from the pressure of reacting. And in that freedom, you find space to lead your life instead of chase it. When you rise early, you create time that most people waste. You give yourself a gift that can't be bought. Extra hours of intention, that silence, that stillness, that calm. It creates the perfect environment for progress. It's not about having more hours in the day. It's about using the best hours with discipline. When your mind is rested, your energy is fresh, and the world hasn't made demands on you yet. That's when the real work can happen. That's when your growth accelerates. But waking early is only the beginning. It means nothing if you don't use that time wisely. You must rise with purpose, not habit. Wake with clarity. Know why you're getting up. Know what needs to be done. Don't waste your early hours on empty routines. Use them to strengthen your mind, your body, your spirit. Train, read, reflect, plan, focus, build. This is the time to invest in yourself, to sharpen your edge, to prepare for the day instead of being thrown into it. You don't rise early for discipline alone. You rise because you understand that life doesn't hand out opportunities. You have to notice them, prepare for them, and act on them before they pass. You don't find opportunity by accident. You recognize it because you're ready. You've trained your mind to pay attention. You've built the kind of habits that make you alert, responsive, prepared. When others are reacting, you're already moving. When others are doubting, you're already executing. Opportunities are everywhere, but most people are too distracted to notice, too tired to act, too scattered to take advantage of them. They think they missed their chance, but the truth is, they never prepared themselves to receive it. You cannot wait for opportunities to knock. You must go out and meet them. And that starts with how you live your mornings. The earlier you rise, the more space you create to build yourself into the kind of person who's ready for what life offers. You can't build a strong life on a weak foundation, and your foundation is your daily rhythm. If you start your day late, rushed and scattered, you carry that energy into everything else. You don't think clearly. You don't move intentionally. You don't feel grounded. But if you start early, with clarity, with structure, with purpose, you feel in control. You don't chase the day. You lead it. And that's how momentum begins. This isn't about waking up early just to say you did. It's not about a number on a clock. It's about giving your life structure. Waking early is a strategy for self-respect. It says, I will not waste this day. I will not let time slip through my hands. I will be prepared, focused, and present. It's about honoring your goals before the distractions show up. It's about showing yourself that you are disciplined enough to lead your own life. Most people complain that they don't have time, but they waste the quietest, most powerful hours of the day sleeping in, scrolling endlessly, or snoozing alarms. You're not short on time. You're short on discipline. And the quickest way to get your time back is to take the first hours of the day and protect them. Use them. Defend them. Turn them into your secret advantage. There is something powerful about walking into your day already prepared. When others are just waking up, you've already moved. You've already focused. You've already done the work that matters. That creates confidence, not the kind you get from praise or attention, but the kind you get from showing up for yourself when no one is watching. That kind of self-respect builds something inside you that lasts. You don't need to start with massive changes. Start by getting up a little earlier than you normally do. Don't go from sleeping in to waking up at 4 a.m. overnight. Start with consistency. Choose a time and stick to it. Make your mornings intentional. Remove distractions. Avoid screens. Avoid noise. Give yourself space to think, to breathe, to align. This isn't about intensity. It's about structure. You can always build intensity later, but structure must come first. The hardest part will be consistency. Not every morning will feel good. Not every day will be easy. But that's not the point. The goal isn't to feel amazing. The goal is to stay committed. Your alarm is not the enemy. It's a reminder of who you're becoming. Every time you get up when you said you would, you send a message to yourself. I am disciplined. I am focused. I keep my word. Eventually it gets easier. Your body adapts. Your mind sharpens. Your energy improves. You start to look forward to that quiet time. It becomes the part of the day you own fully. The rest of the world hasn't touched it yet. It's yours, and in that time, you build clarity. You make strong decisions. You move with power. That's not something people can see on the outside, but it's something you carry with you into every room, every challenge, every opportunity. You'll begin to notice something else too. When you start your day with intention, life begins to respond differently. You stop missing chances. You see openings. You connect dots faster. You make bolder choices. You say yes to the right things and no to the wrong ones. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aware. You're alert. You're focused. That's the reward of showing up early, every single day. Opportunity doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't wait until you feel ready. It comes when it comes. And if you're not prepared, it passes. That's why the morning matters. That's why preparation matters. Because when the call comes, when the door opens, when the chance appears, you want to be the kind of person who can act fast, move smart, and follow through without hesitation. This doesn't mean you can't rest. It doesn't mean you can't have downtime. But it does mean you take control. It means you stop living reactive. It means you stop drifting. You build a rhythm that gives you peace and power. And you protect it, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because the life you want is not going to build itself. You have to lead it. And that leadership begins the moment your day begins. There's freedom in waking early. Freedom from rush. Freedom from chaos. Freedom from excuses. You don't start the day already behind. You start ahead. You start clear. You start strong. That momentum carries through everything else. Your decisions are sharper. Your discipline is tighter. Your energy is directed. Stop treating mornings like they don't matter. They do. They're your foundation. They're your launch pad. They're your reset. Don't waste them on low-value tasks. Don't spend them reacting to other people's lives. Use them to build yours. You have a choice. Keep living like every day is an accident. Or rise early and start living with purpose. You already know which one leads to growth. You already know which one leads to pride. You already know what needs to change. Wake up. Show up. Use every opportunity this life gives you. Not later. Now.